This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Hey Vinod, I think this is your first class.
Yeah, this is my first class.
Okay, very good. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I'll be your trainer, Vinod, during this journey of around 1.5 months. Okay, so you can call me HS, and I have close to 15 years of experience in SAP in different areas. And from past few implementations and supports, I have been involved in the IBP projects for different customers and client. So if you can brief about yourself, what are the skills backgrounds that you are coming with, this will help me.
Yeah, HA. So I am basically coming a little bit of SAP BW and some HANA stuff. I know, but I also worked on some report based on the supply chain. But I do have some, you know, theoretical knowledge of IBP, and then when I worked in IBP, when I worked on the PW project, I used IBP also, so I know that the extraction of data and everything.
Perfect. Yeah, very good, Vinod. Welcome, and we'll start. So I will suggest you that we also are recording these sessions, and one of the earlier recording is available. So maybe coordinator would already give you the Google Drive link where we will have all the documents recordings. So just go through that. So we started with a kind of overview in our last session. We'll continue that, and then we will move on to the slowly we will move on to the core topics.
Yeah, you can skip those ones. So I already know something about the basics, so that's fine.
Perfect. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So now here, if we see this particular, you know, overall process of the demand planning, so we do have, certain boxes here. If you see this here, this is the main box where, the output of the demand planning will be the consensus demand plan. And before that, if you see, there are two more boxes, which is the segmentation and the time series. So for example, in real-time projects, we have a, a lot of data, right? So let's say the number of the uh, product portfolio, what you have, the SKUs that are there with various plant locations when they are mapped, the volume becomes very huge. Let's say we have 80 to 90 thousands of products that we want to plan it for in IBP. So there will be some products which will be, let's say, high revenue generating. There will be some which will be medium revenue generating, and some which will be low revenue generating, right? So we can categorize them. So that categorization is nothing but that is the segmentation. So going forward, when we are in the demand planning topic, we will understand that how to implement this segmentation in IBP. So for now, you just understand these terms so that it will help us to relate when we are in the core topics. And also, to know that trend, like what exactly is the trend, um, or we can say the behavior of the product patterns for the demand, right? So let's say there can be the behavior can be, for example, it has some trend, whether it is an increasing trend or it's a decreasing trend, right? Or it's a seasonal trend. In some seasons, the demand is little bit more. In some season, it is little less, right? Depending on the product line, the business family that product belongs to, right? It will fall into some kind of um, uh, you know uh, trend analysis, seasonal analysis, all those patterns that it will draw. And some will not have any pattern, it will be very sporadic, right? So all that analysis we can do with the help of the time series analysis. So you can understand that this we can do before we even enter into the core topic of the core implementation of the demand planning process. This will help us to segregate and focus on the, let's say, on the top revenue products. We can execute the stats forecast job only for the one, especially which are under the segmentation of category A, which are high revenue generating, and then category B, let's say, which are medium revenue generating, that we can separately execute. So the planners can, for example, if there are two planners in demand planning team, so one can concentrate on you know the high revenue generating products. Other planners can concentrate on medium and low revenue generating products, right? So like that we can you know actually bifurcate. And there will be also certain departments which will also give their inputs after the system has calculated the stats forecast. Let's say that SAP already has given some kind of you know algorithms which can help uh, which can help us in planning how the forecast will be looking like, right? So we can design some kind of best fit algorithm, and then we can draw the forecast that is coming out, right? And then on that forecast, based on the experience of the planners, they will do some manual inputs as well, right? Some manual inputs will be fed to that particular um, forecast that has been executed by the system using that particular algorithm, that will be added with some manual inputs by the planner. Some planners will be very experienced, right? They will be there in the company, let's say from 20 years, 25 years. They will add their inputs, and then the final consensus demand will be drawn here. And we'll also talk about the accuracy of the forecast is one of the major areas that the companies will focus on, how to improve the forecast, how the error rate can be decreased. How do we measure that the forecast is accurate? If the error rate is less, then it means that it is more accurate forecast, right? If the error rate is more, it means it is less accurate forecast, right? So this is how we will, when we are implementing, we will see that the demand can be of different types. It can be sporadic, it can be seasonal, it can be trend, and we will design a best fit algorithm where these models are already designed by SAP. So we will just configure them in the system, and then we will see that automatically the system will decide which is the best model which is being taken. And we'll also understand all the important model characteristics, that how they are behaving individually, right? All that exercise will do in our demand planning stuff, right? So SNOP, as we were discussing, it's a process, right? It's a process. For example, it starts with the, let's say, the demand review, the demand that is being collected. For example, we have the S4 system, or we have the ECC system, right? Or we have any non-SAP system from where we are capturing our sales data, and we are generating the forecast out of it, right? So that review meetings will happen, right? So in the demand review, they will consider that, they will give the manual inputs also, the supply, um, uh, before that output is given to the supply, the manual inputs will be also adjusted by the sales team, by the marketing team. Consensus demand plan will be there, and then the output will be transferred to the supply side, so that the heuristic or optimizer can generate the supply plan. And then there will be meetings, again executive meetings, which will review the which will review on the supply plan. So they will have also the manual adjustments, that okay, This time let us add some more units to so and so product families, because we foresee that there will be more demand coming in, you know. So like that, it's a overall process which talks about the demand side, the supply side, as well as the inventory side. How to um, for example, we have a supply chain network. Where do we keep the stock so that it is cost effective also? All that stuff will happen in the sales and operation planning meetings, and they will have one objective: to increase their um, to increase their profit margins, and then to reach the financial targets where they want to achieve them in an efficient way. So yeah, so we'll also study about this optimizing the inventory part. So we'll see that there will be different kind of stock. So one of the major focus will be on the recommended safety stock that we will have, because the forecast is just an estimation, right? That is coming out. That will definitely have some kind of errors. So we can't be 100% accurate. We can be 70%, 75%, maximum 80% accurate in terms of calculating the forecast, right? So therefore, because there can be uh, let's say the demand which is just coming up, we would not have uh, you know foreseen it. Then what will happen is we should have some kind of buffer stock, right, in our warehouse, so that we can mitigate the demand which is coming from the customer side, right? So this is all about inventory. This will help us mainly to come up with the recommended safety stock. So the algorithm is already written by SAP, so we just have to utilize those algorithms. We need to configure those using our Fiori screens, right? Configure the profile so that we can just execute it. So we will learn about, we have the multi-echelon algorithm, we have single level algorithm, all that stuff we will just learn. So at this moment we are just touching at a very high level, just uh, for each topic, so that when we go in depth, at least we know their definitions of those topics. So we'll also create some kind of analytics here in terms of alerts, in terms of graphs, right? Because the management people will more rely on the graphs rather than uh, the Excel, right? Excel will have too much of data, and when we are presenting in the meetings, it will not be eye catching, right? We cannot, um, even if we are doing some color coding and then we are maintaining the data, but still it will be very difficult to show it in one snapshot, right? But the graphs or the pictures will give us more visibility in terms of what is happening in the supply chain, because the management people will have very dedicated time in those meetings. They will just come in 30 minutes, they want to have an overview. They would not like to go in depth, for example, at every product level, right? They will be at a very high level. They want to see the reports where we are lagging, what is the specific ask from the management, right? If we need some support from them in order to increase the revenue. So those kind of a picture that we need to give in the executive meetings. So we'll see that how to come up with those uh, graphs and all. So we'll learn about that. Alerts also, they will give more visibility to the planners. For example, if there is any automation done, forecast is going out of the way. Let's say forecast is 110% of the previous calculated forecast. It is 110% more. So we didn't expect it normally, that so much of huge deviation will be there. So in those cases, we can just put an alert so that the alert will go to the user and it will tell that, okay, so and so product and so location is actually giving this alert. So the planner, for example, the lead is monitoring the alerts, and the lead can assign those alerts to their team members, so that those people can work and then correct those alerts if required. For example, if it is a known condition that it has to be that way, then they will ignore that alert. But at least that will come to their visibility, right? So that will help them to find if there are any um, things that are happening that should not happen, right, in the supply chain. So they will have the better visibility, right? So now this is also very important to understand, you know, in the general perspective. So as we know that this is a cloud-based application, right? Which means that, the control is with SAP. The developments and all are being done by SAP, and whatever the new features SAP is adding, every quarter they will add some features. Who will add? SAP will add. Meaning, for example, in February, for example, they have added some, new features. So after February, the next quarter will be again after 3 months. March, April, May. Then May they have added some features. Then after that, June, July, August. August they have added new features. So like that, every 3 months they will be adding new features to certain areas. For example, in the demand planning side, they will add some features in the supply planning sides. So how, as a consultants, we will get to know about these new features, right? So there are seminars which are happening by SAP, right? So our company, when we are into these projects, our company will forward those invites to us, or even if we have subscribed, to the SAP sites, then we will also get our notifications that, okay, so and so date SAP will be briefing out what all the new features are coming in which areas. So now, what SAP has done is they have broken down this new feature stuff into days. For example, they will take the seminars for 2 or 3 days and they will populate the agendas. So let's say that during this particular release, these are the new features that will be coming up in so and so areas. So let's say in this area I am not interested, so I will not attend that session. So whichever area that I will be interested, I will just go ahead and then attend that session. What happen if I miss it, right? If I miss it, I will also get the recording from the SAP. I can just view it at my convenience, right? So all that stuff, that you will get to know. So every release will have some number, associated with it. So how that number will look like, for example, last, uh, let's say this number is 2208 release. So 2208 means the first two
August
letter
22.
denotes, yeah, 2022, and the next two letter denotes the month. So now this release has happened in August. So similarly, now another release will be 2211. So like that, it will just go on. Okay. So then this will be the release of the IBP. So similarly, there is uh, the version of the Excel also. So now we understood that there are two ways that we can connect to IBP. Right? One using the SAP uh, Excel, right? Microsoft Excel that we have. So that Excel also, we are installing some kind of this. add-in, Excel add-in. We call it as Excel add-in. So that Excel add-in will also have, this um, version. So we should not have very old version, because if we have very old version, let's say that the version belongs to 2019, you know, and then that may not support some of the features. So therefore, it's advisable at least in a 6 months we should install the latest version in our local machines, um, so that we can, if there are new features related to the Excel version, for example, using the Excel, if there are new features, then we can utilize them as well. So if we do not have the latest version, we cannot utilize those, new features which are related to Excel. Okay, so don't get confused. So there will be some features, for example, in the demand planning algorithm that has nothing to do with the Excel add-in version, right? So there will be very specific features that has come as a new features only with that Excel, right? In the Excel there are new few more capabilities that has been added. Let's say that the way the filter was behaving, now the filter conditions are behaving in a different way, right? Some new features have been added. So that is a very specific feature to the Excel. So that we can use only when we have the latest version installed for the Excel. Yeah,
I
and
have a
also,
question.
yes, please.
So when they release and whenever they release something, correct? So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happened is automatically get updated. So if there already is the is already in quality or production, do we have to
yeah,
test them based on the new releases, or we don't have to test them?
yeah, exactly. So whenever the new functionality, so first of all, let's understand that whenever the new functionality is released, right, in every quarter, that will be available to all the customers. That is one thing that we can remember because it is the cloud based. Okay. Now, there can be certain stuff, for example, which the customer want to test it. If they want to implement that new feature, for example, there is one, two, three. These three new features have come in our system. So it will not happen that whatever the old features are there, they will stop working, right? These new features on the top of that. If we want to implement it, you know, then customers have to go through those seminars and they have to do it in their test environment. They need to see that how that particular thing is behaving, right? The way the SAP has described in their saphelp.com, is it the same way that it is behaving? So as a customer, right, or as an IBP consultant, I will then test, maybe out of this three, I am interested in this third feature. This is related to demand planning, and this is what I would be interested in, and I will first of all test it. After this is test in the test system, right? What I can do is I can transport it into the production environment.
Okay,
Before
this one.
transporting it,
Okay. This one you were saying the new feature, right? What if there is they did some fixes or something like some of the functions started to work behaviorally. I'm just making this up. Like one algorithm
yes,
you said.
it's the same way. It's the same way. So the transport behaves in the same way. So
Okay.
transport you can do from your test environment to quality, from quality to production.
No, no, that's not my question. So whenever, even though they are fixing something, they will say, so this is fixed, this is a new version. Even though there's
Mhm.
something existing there, and then they are making some changes to the functionality or some technical changes, that will also come as a new change. Either you can take it or you can ignore it. That's what you are saying, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, yeah. You mean
Okay.
whenever the SAP changes to the brings or change something in the in any of the functionality?
Yeah,
SAP?
say for example, there is a mean variance algorithms are there. they are changing the algorithm a little bit to it. Maybe they did some mistake earlier versions. Now they are fixing it. So and then I'm just making it could be something different also, right? So if that is happens, how do they get adjusted? They will give us a like number 1 and 2, 3. There's a new version of variants is there if you want to use it, or they will just basically they say that that automatically goes because this is a part of the bug fixing.
Yeah, for example, I mean, that kind of scenarios will actually not happen, right? In
Okay.
real time. Yeah. So
Okay.
for example, there is nothing called as, bugs and bug fixing, because whatever, first of all, SAP is releasing, they will test it rigorously before they release. In any situation, let's say there is 1% chance that they are modifying that functionality because of some reason. Maybe it was not behaving the way it has to behave. Customers have raised the concerns, because there is some, the customer engagement programs are going on, where they will also listen to the customers that, okay, this feature should behave in this way, or if this particular functionality is added to the existing one, then it will be more beneficial. Then they will do the voting, they will open the voting for all the, publicly. According to the number of votes that particular idea has got, they will do that changes in that particular functionality and then release it to all the customers, and then they will educate all the customers in their uh, you know in their seminars. They will educate all the customers then can go ahead and then implement it in their test environment. Or if they do not want to implement it, for example, that feature will be available to all of the customers. Now, using, for example, it depends. For example, there was, let's say, one algorithm to calculate the forecast. Now there is something else which is coming, so SAP can develop one more algorithm without disturbing that particular algorithm. So for example, in the last release, what I've seen is there was a change in the Croston method. So they have not changed the Croston method itself. They have brought one more Croston TSB. So customers who want to use that TSB, they will just go ahead and then implement it. So it depends on, situation to situation, and then scenario to scenario, that what is that change that has come up and how do we want to, take it up. So customers also will rigorously, first of all, test it in their environment, and then they will explain it to their business IT people. They will also do the kind of UAT, they will get the approval, and then only it will go to the production, so that it does not have any negative impact. So this method is not especially for IBP. We have been seen in our experience that in our earlier projects also we have seen that this is the way that it works with the new functionalities. We need to do thorough testing, and I have seen the cases, where we miss some kind of testing, or because the good quality of data, which is not available in your test environment or quality environment, you are not able to test it, properly. But those impacts then we see in the production system. Always we should be ready to back it out. If we see that, okay, in production it has break it out, and then we should be ready with the backup plan to take it immediately out of the production, and then again, revise it, configure it again, do the redevelopment, and again, bring it to quality and then production. So the way we go for other projects, it's the same way uh,
Okay.
we
Thank
go
you.
with IVP also. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here in IVP, the flexibility will be more. For example, if you have the, test tenant, and then you have the quality tenant, let's say, and then you have the production tenant, right? So how it will be, the license you will procure for your test environment. Let's say you have got one URL to access the IBP, URL 1. For the production tenant, you have another URL. Let's say you have two URL basically. One is the test environment, another URL is your production environment. This is most of the customers will get two URLs. So let's say the test environment, you have separated it by creating the planning area as test planning area, and then within that same environment you have created the quality planning area. So this is planning area 1 and this is planning area 2. So what you do is whatever the development you do it here, and then you will transfer it to the quality system. And here the transports are very, very easy. So you are using an app, within the Fiori screen, and then now with the recent releases, the customers also has power to choose what what are the objects that has to be transferred. Earlier, what was happening mainly, even if we are um, adding one particular key figure or we are making a change to an attribute, the whole planning area has to be transported. But now what is happening is, now we don't have to do that. For example, if there is change in one attribute, I can just select wherever the objects are changed and transport it. How we can understand it from our traditional approach, what we have done in our earlier projects, right? Whether in SAP or non-SAP. So if we speak about SAP, we have a dedicated team called as basis team, which will be there, who will have the responsibility of moving the transport request from one system to another system, and that was a tedious process. And then TRs will also have some kind of dependencies. So transport request 2 cannot move until one is successfully moved, otherwise 2 will also fail. So this kind of things were happening, but now the power is more with the consultant. On a particular weekend when the business is not working, if there are for example new configurations or something new key figures that has been added to the planning area, we want to transport it into the production system. Then on a particular weekend, what I'll do is I'll just transport it and then make sure that the planning area is activated and the jobs which are running, all the important jobs also, the team will be monitoring them throughout the day, that okay, the jobs are not failing because of the new transport that has been that has come into the system. So all that stuff, we'll see in one of the session that how this transport stuff and all will happen.
Okay. So basically, what you are saying is, even we add one new attribute, and then we move from one planning area to another planning area, which is that like PA2 to PA3 in production. We have to activate again the planning area whenever we send the new transports.
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever we do any changes, the planning area, we will see that that will automatically become inactive. So
Okay.
if
Okay.
it is inactive, then we cannot use it in our system. It has always to be, it has to be active. And while activating it, we need to make sure that it is error free also. So for
Okay.
example, there can be some errors which are coming up. We need to fix those errors. So that's why we will choose weekend, so that in case there are errors, we will have the time to fix it. And in case we are not able to fix it, we can at least restore it to the state where it was earlier. Okay, so
So in the production, we may have to use the firefighter access, right, to do that.
yeah, exactly. In the production, you should have the access to actually, uh, you know, uh, to activate that planning area. So in one of the project, I have seen that you know only in the production we were getting that fire factor access on that particular weekend, and then it will be again rolled back um, to the normal access after that
Yeah,
transportation was done.
that access valid for a few hours only. Yeah, firefighter access.
All right, very good. So now we will also understand the very important thing is we will understand this Excel, right? There are certain buttons in the Excel when we log on. So let's say that I'm opening an Excel. So this is one of the important interface that connects with IBP. So all the planners, they will be doing their stuff uh, in this Excel. So what will happen is, as we were discussing in last class, when you will install the Excel add-in, you will have this button, and if you are not seeing this button for any reason, then you can go to the file and then options. You can go to the options and then you can go to the add-ins and you can go to com add-ins and go here, and then this two should be ticked out, the SAP IBP technical migration add-in, and then add-in for Microsoft Excel. So then you will see that this button will appear and this will give you the logon button. So for now, I'm just logging in using one of the connection, and I'll press the logon button and you will receive your username password. So during that time, you just need to give the username password. So maybe for the next time it will just remember. Maybe for the first time it will ask you to enter the username password, and then once you log in you will see these many actually uh, buttons in it, and we'll be using these buttons in our day-to-day activities. So we will now try to understand uh, the features of this uh, Excel buttons, right? So for example, you are doing some work in this Excel and you are done with it. So then you can just disconnect it using this button. So someone will ask, like, if I don't disconnect and then I just close it from here, then what will happen? Actually nothing will happen, it will just close. But the best practice is whenever you are done, you just disconnect it. And that will be a good practice. And if you just scroll it, you will have disconnect as well as log off. If you do the log off, it will not remember your uh, credentials. Again, when you are logging in, you have to enter the username and password. It will forget basically your username and password. If you keep your cursor here, the same thing, see, SAP has written it just to understand. It will just remember me settings, it will delete. Okay. And now, for example, you want to view some data, right? So let's say that there is some data, there are some key figures. You want to view some kind of sales history, right? You want to view it uh, on the weekly basis, on the monthly basis, yearly basis, quarterly basis, right? So, and then you want to view it, let's say, for a particular set of products, for a particular product family. Let's say you want to view the data. So all that you can do it with the help of this new view. So let's say that I want to view some uh, data. I'll go here. I'll have two choices. I can do it from template. I can do it without template. So for example, the data, it will show me the same whether I do it from template or without template. The difference will be if I do from template, then if I have a dedicated template, for example, there is a logo in it, there are some colorful headings that I have given, with headings with a separate color, and then rest of the stuff with a separate color. Then what I'll do is, I'll use a dedicated template. If I don't want to see, I just want to see that what exactly, is the data. So then I can just do it without template on current sheet. And then it will give me this screen to select what exactly I want to see, in which time bucket I want to see the data, right? So for example, if I'm going in this time profile, so here I want to see at a daily level, I want to see at a weekly level, I want to see at a monthly level, quarterly level, yearly level, right? When it comes to weekly level, you see that there is a technical level and then week level, right? So technical week is a week. So if you are able to see my calendar, are you able to see my calendar?
Yes.
So for example, let's say now this week. So this week has few days from August, and from here 1st of September is starting. Few days from September. So it is a mix of 2 months. So few days are from the prior month and rest of the day are from the current month. So this week will be called as technical week, and this is your first half A, and this is your second half, which is B. So if this is week, let's say 30, this will become 30A. This will become T week 30B, TW 30B. So that's the difference between a normal week and a technical week. So for example, if I want to see on a weekly level or anything at a monthly level, right? I'll choose month. Which month I want to see? I want to see it from, let's say, 2021 April till December of 2022. I've chosen this, and then what I want to see? I want to see the products. What key figures I want to see? I can select the key figures, right? So do not worry that, how this key figures and all. We'll learn all about this in the master data session. But as of now, we are just trying to understand the use of these buttons so that you will be comfortable, you will have a good understanding on the, buttons, how we are using them. So let's say that I'm choosing one random key figure called as actuals quantity. And this actuals quantity is based on product, location, and customer. That's the base level where the data will be stored. And then I can give some filter. I want to see it for a particular product. I want to see it for a particular family of the product. So whatever attributes of the product that we have, I can just give it that I want to see it for so and so families. So I can just, click on those, and then I can say OK. Okay, it is asking me to select unit of measure. So unit of measure can be each, it can be pieces, right? So how much of quantity that we need? For example, we need one quantity of a particular product, one each unit, one piece unit, right? So that is nothing but that is your unit of measure. So now what it is doing, it has got this data from where? It has got this data from the cloud. Now for our training purpose, we already have this data loaded into the system, right? So going forward, we'll also understand, for example, in our last class, we studied that how in real time this data will come, right? So this master data, transaction data will flow from your system of record, right? Let's say that you have the S4 system, SAP S4 system, you have SAP ECC system, right? Or non-SAP system. Let's say where your master data resides. From there, you are passing it to, let's say, BW system, SAP BW. From SAP BW, it is coming to IBP, right? So for our training purpose, what SAP has done is SAP has also given some, Excel files, CSV files, where the data, sample data is there. For example, this product, this, key figures, and then, this data, whatever we are seeing. So we also have understood in our last class that it is not only the SAP or non-SAP systems that the data will come through. Even if the planners will have some data in their CSV files, that also we can load it into our IBP system, right? So that is what we will do in our training system. We'll be loading some data using the CSV files so that we can, understand the concepts of all the three dimensions: the demand side, the inventory side, and the supply side, right? So now this is your key figure and this is your product. So when I'm doing it without the template, right? I have done it without template on the current sheet. Then you see that there are no colors, there is no logo, and there is no heading also, right? Manually, if you want to put heading to this, so that's also very easy. You don't have to remember, this is a key figure, you have to give the key figure heading. What you have to do is you just press equal to, and then you start typing SOP, Sales and Operation Planning, heading 1. So from right to left, you will say heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, like that. So let's say that we have two headings now. So I'll say heading 1, and second one, I'll say heading 2. So system IBP already knows it, which kind of values it has. So automatically it will, take up that particular headers, right? And then if I don't want to give SAP2, so I'll just copy this on all of them, how much ever I have, and then what I'll do, I'll just go here and then change it, 2, and then 3, and then 4. For example, now I want to see this actuals quantity data at the product location level, right, in a little bit detailed level. So what I'll do is, and only I want to see for a particular product called as FG126. So what I need to do in that case, I can just go into the edit view. Now I want to add the location dimension also to this, right? This attribute I've added, and then this is the one which is based on, product location customer. I've also added location, and I only want to see for a particular product. So what I'll do is I'll remove this family. I can just, change my filter. Product ID is equal to FG126. So if I'm not sure that, so in real time you can have products which are, 10 digit, 12 digit numbers, right? So it's not possible to remember those, right? What we can do is we also have this 3 dots. You can copy paste it, or if you type few letters, that particular stuff will already come and you can select out of there. And if you have, mistaken it, then you will see that, the visibility of this will not be. So you see the difference if I just, now this is not grayed out. So the moment it is grayed out, you will understand that, this is not the right value. It will give you a feeling that it's not the right value. So now what change you have done is you are telling to the system, show me the data related to only this product, and I also want to see at a product location, and let's say also the customer level. right? So it will just disaggregate that data into this and it will show to us. Then I'll press this button called as OK. Now it will change the view. So now you see that the headings of this have gone. So what I'll do is I'll bring it to here. This is the key figure. Now see, this is already, it has taken customer ID. So what I'll do is I'll just drag it to all, and then here I will say this is number 3. In sequence it will go, and this will become number 4, right? It will automatically take. So now this is my product ID, this is my location ID, these are the customers, right? These are my customers, and this is my actuals quantity. So for this product at this location for this customer, actuals quantity in April 2021 was this, right? And we see that the data is there till October 2022. So similarly, for example, now let's say that as a demand planner, right, I have too many filters. Daily, I don't want to go in this button, and then, daily I don't want to set all these filters, right? So in that case, what I'll do is I will save this particular stuff in something called as favorite. If I do that, the advantage will be if I log off from the system, next day if I log in, I don't have to again go to the new view, choose everything, product, location, customer, key figure, and this data. It will automatically, from the favorites, it will be chosen. So let's say that in the favorites, I'm adding. I'll do add, and I'll just say, just give any name. If I want to keep it in a particular folder, this favorite, I can just say new folder. I can do that. If I say add, let's say that, now the next time, if I'm coming into the system, I'll just go to this favorite. Now under this demand folder, I have saved this one. If I click this data, it will show me for this many periods. These are the key figures. I again don't have to go. Now, if I want to modify something, I can just go to the edit view and then modify it, right? So this favorite, what you have saved, right? You want to share it with your colleagues. You can do that. For example, now if you are modifying something here and you want to modify your favorite as well, you don't want to see at a location customer level. You want to modify those. So, or you want to modify any filter, either you can go to the edit view and then do the modification. If you want to do the modification in the filter, for example, if I go to the edit view, I need to modify the filter, I need to go here to the filter tab, right? Otherwise, if I directly want to come into this filter tab, into this edit view, what I'll do is I'll go to this ad hoc filter and then say edit. It will directly take me to the edit view to that filter tab, right? So now here, let's say that I also want to include one more part, IBP 100, right? So if I'm not sure whether this product number is correct, Then I'll go here and then see that it has come in the selected values. It means that this is the correct one. Now I don't want to see at a very detailed level. I just want to see at a product location level, right? Then I'll just select this, press OK. Right. So now this is key figure. This is a location ID. This is a product ID. And then this is how the data is visible. And now if you want to modify your favorite, then you can just say update. So the same view, you want to update it, you can say update. So now that view is updated now. So the advantage is if I disconnect, tomorrow I'm connecting back, I'll go here in the favorite section, go and then load it. This data will be visible to us without going into the new view and then doing that exercise. So in day-to-day projects, what the planners will do, they will also save their favorites of the filters, because in the real-time projects you will see that this filters what you have will be very heavy. So some planners will be dedicatedly working for some product families, and then some various other locations they are working only for certain location region. So let's say that your project is for the America market, for Asia Pacific, for APJ and European region. One of the planner is responsible for the America market. So let's say that this is again one of the filter it has. So then again there could be some other product families, and this product list also could be, let's say there are 150 products, there are 180 products, like that. So daily you cannot just um, put this filter again and again. So what you will do is you will just save this filter also. What is the advantage of saving? Now you may ask me, if I'm saving that favorite, that already will have this saved filter, but now you think from the perspective of you want to use the same filter in some other template or some view as well. So if you have saved this filter, then you can use it in some other view as well. Okay, so how I can save it? I can just add it, and then I can give any name to that filter. Demand filter, it is actual quantity. Any name I can give. I can also save it in some folder, or I can save it without folder. I can just add it. This filter name is now added, right? So in any other view, when I'm doing is I can just select this filter name. It will automatically select this filter. So if there are one or two product, then like this it is really handy. But you think that if there are lot many filters, then it is always better to save that filter and then use it. For example, tomorrow if you are scheduling any batch job which should run in the background, so that batch job you can use this particular filter in that job as well. So this things will make the task easy. That's it. So now let us again say I've added one more product here, and then the location region, this one. Let's see that. So now for that particular location region, this location ID belongs to Americas. So if I take one more attribute called as location region, it will show me that that belongs to Americas, right? For this location and this product, there is no data. If you see, it's all blank till here. There is only some data in August 2022 and September, the current month, right? Now this favorite that you have added, you want to share it, right? you want to first update it. If there are some changes, just you want to update it, and then you want to share it with someone, with your colleague. So let's say that this with the other users also you can share it. So let's say that with this user, or I can create a group of the user. I can just put in that group this 5 6 users. I can put it one group because they are only my teammates and always I'll be sharing with them. So always I don't have to create all this, select all the 5 every time and then do that. If I just create a group, with that particular group I can just share it.
So can we share outside of the group, like non-corporate ID or Gmail or some other ID?
No.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
email should be configured along with the user, right?
Yeah, because that makes sense also, right? You will share it with the guys who have access to IBP, who are the authorized user of IBP, right? Who are into your project. Other Gmail participants and all, you are anyway not supposed to share this content to your, personal IDs or anyone other personal ID, right? So it's not only with IBP, it's with all the projects, right?
In the
So
BobJ
who
and all, we can share any other SAP business subject. We can share any other ID. So no need to config in SAP itself.
you mean in BobJ application?
In the business subject, so when we do the distribution, we can put Gmail ID or any other ID, then they can get the report just for display in the PDF format or Excel format.
Okay, technically, if you are able to do, you can do it, but process-wise, I mean, it depends on organization to organization. We should never send that, the project-related stuff to our Gmail IDs or any of the personal stuff, right? Even for the viewing purpose. That's out of the, at a process level, it will be not good, right? Technically many things can be possible, but we need to be sensible enough to to see that what data we are sharing to the outside world, right? All
Yeah.
right, so
So
yeah.
one question, HS, can we add here those pictures and headers, footers in this report in the Excel and make it as a global template?
You mean the logo and all?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for example, if we have a dedicated template which we have already designed, we can
Mm-hmm.
definitely use that. For example, this view, we can just see it from the template. One dedicated template we can have, and then we can actually design it in that way and put it. For example, if same thing I'm using it one of the existing template, let's say this one, and if I just see, let's say in a quarterly basis, I want to see the data, let's say Q3 2021, and for the product location, and let's say that, okay, I want to see these actual quantity quarter wise, and I want to give some filters here. So the data will remain same, but only the the view purpose and all will just change, that how this looks like. So this is how the will have the dedicated so we can put our company logos and all, we can design it. So during the implementation phase, we can just design it according to our convenience, and the same template then we can use it. So in real time, the planners will have these dedicated templates, they will just favorites in their favorites, they will save it or in this template sections so that it is accessible to everyone, in their projects, and they will be using it in their day-to-day projects. All right. Yeah. So now here, for example, if you see that this is the filter that we have saved, the demand filter actuals quantity. So if I say none, it will just remove that filter. So if I want to just remove the filter, I don't want to have to go to that edit view and then do that. If I've saved that, if I want to put it, another advantage of saving this, just now we saved one, filter. So I can just select it from here itself. So that will be little shortcut, right? It is just showing me whatever the definition we have given in this filter, right? So next is this save data button will continue from here, right? So for today, I would like to stop it here. So any questions, guys? You're able to follow it up, all this stuff. The speed is okay. Everything is fine with you all, guys.
Yes.
Okay, good. Rajashekhar, Ame,
Yes,
Vinod.
yes, yes, yes.
I'm good.
Okay, very good, Vinod.
All good with me. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So Ame, you
Thank you.
can be available, in first few classes because there in the next batch you joined from supply in the middle. Yeah, so you please uh, try to join. Otherwise, these recordings also you can see. Earlier batch recordings, I think they are also available to you, right? Any
Yeah,
any problem you have, you just reach out to the coordinator, Ame.
sure. I will. I will.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, very good, guys.
Regarding
Yeah.
moving this
Oh,
meeting 1 hour early, is that possible for everybody? I mean, it's too late for me. I feel sleepy already.
Yeah, I know. But I already discussed this with coordinator and she said, no, it's not possible because, uh, you know, because I think we have one more candidate who is from the European time zone and sometimes, uh, and that will be too early morning for him. So I already discussed with the coordinator. From your side also, you can discuss once again. But
Okay,
this is
okay,
the response that I got it. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
and
Thank
I
you very
just
much.
one
Yeah.
question.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I just one question.